China's debt bomb to the world and what will happen if it explodes. So all of you would have heard about Evergrande and all the issues, and it is the biggest crisis after Lehman crisis in 2008. So many things, so many hyperactive breaking news. So let's analyze, because 3-4 days had gone. Let's analyze what is happening in the Evergrande issue, what is happening, the debt bomb in China, and will Indian market gets affected because of this, and what are the companies you should be cautious enough from now on. All these things we will consider today. We will discuss today. Hi, hello. This is Ganesh Santuru, your stock market profit coach and author of the book One Page Stock Market Plan. Please check the description if you want to buy this book. And today's topic is: will China's debt bomb explode? Are they exporting to the whole world? So this is what we are discussing. Because why it is debt bomb? Because always it has been the debt which will always explode, in the sense that the companies which is having huge debt will always fall. That has been the case, and any country which is having huge debt, that will always fall, and it never happens in a day or two. It will take years together, it may be a decades together, and it will pile up and it will almost explode. That is what is almost the signs are showing up. And what is that Evergrande issue and how big it is? Let's understand how big this company is and why the debt is huge. Just look at in India, some of the real estate companies may be having projects in few cities, and a few maybe few hundreds of projects. That itself is a huge thing. But in China, this company Evergrande is having 1300 projects in 280 cities. Just think of how big they are. Without government support they cannot run, and without the investor support, I'll say the numbers over the period of time in this video. And this is the kind of company it is. Just see the size: 1300 projects and 280 cities. And there was an article, and I think I saw on Instagram, where they said that one of the major country in Europe can be fitted in all these projects together. That's how the size of the projects itself. So that size. And what is a debt? Because infrastructure or construction, it's a capital intensive. You need money to put in, and then if the inventory is sold out, and then the money comes into the company. And this company has built this much in the last few years, few decades, I can say. It was started in 1990s, early 90s, and in the last 20-30 years, that debt what they accumulated, and that too in the last 10 years. Just look at the debt: $300 billion in debt. In Indian term, almost close to 22 lakh crores of rupees. 22 lakh crores of rupees. That is the kind of debt this company has accumulated. And how they were servicing till now, it is they used to borrow money from the people, they used to borrow money from the banks, all the Chinese banks, because all are highly regulated. They were able to provide loans as it is accepted. But Chinese government took a stand in the last 2 years, saying that enough is enough, because there is a huge divide between the wealthy and poor people. And there is a urban rich divide. Urban and as well as rural area divide is huge. Many rural people had come into, the people who are successful came into urban area. They are successful, but the rural people still they are in the same place. So the point is, they wanted to make sure equality is in place, and they started taking steps. And couple of months ago, we had seen huge technology company related issues, like they had launched scathing attack on Alibaba, and the company has broken into two. And even the Alibaba's payment bank has been stopped at the last moment, all because of they were becoming so big, and they wanted to break it down. And now they launched an attack on all these companies, and that has a serious effect on real estate, which is showing to start up the biggest bubble. Okay. And market cap, do you know the market cap this company? $41 billion. And in the last 1 year, this has came down to almost $2.7 billion. $1 billion is close to 8,000 crores, 7,500 crores or 8,000 crores. And just look at from where it is, and now it is almost down by huge size. So that is a kind of crackdown Chinese government has done in the last few years and in the last few months. And this had a huge issue on the and are they able to come up and cope up with these things? The point is, in the current scenario, in the current month, they need to service the debt which is coming up, the interest they need to pay. And government has made sure they pumped in the huge sum of money, and because of that they are able to survive. And it's a small term, I mean the near term, there is the issue has been resolved. It looks like resolved, but let's look at how much it can do, because Chinese government and banking sector are almost controlled. We don't know what is really happening. And one of the serious things what they did is that if the economy is collapsing, and 27 of the top 30 central banks will be able to manage the situation. That is what the current assessment is saying. We don't know the truth behind this, but the point is they are able to control. That is the point. That itself is soothes the world market, because if Chinese government falls, it's the second largest economy. The last 10-15 years in particular, they were the front runner of the global economy, and they were able to steer through the growth, and because through the recession of 2008, and they started growing at almost close to 10% in the first 10 years, and the next 10 years they are able to do at 7.8%, far ahead of all the other economies. So all these are really critical points that will be the biggest dampener on the world economy, because right now all the countries are coming out of corona. Certain countries had gone from poor from wherever they are, and all these conditions are there. So Chinese government, they cannot lose as it is, they cannot lose the control as it is. And they have another biggest problem is that they have huge money invested in US treasuries. So if Chinese government falls, it will be a bigger setback for dollar as well as bigger setback for US as a country, because they used to sell the debt, and that will be a biggest, it will cause bigger repercussions across the world. So let's not look at what if this is falling down, and this is, let this not go from real estate to all other things, because it happened in startup world and now it is happening in real estate. So let's not go behind, let's not let this chain breaks here itself. That is what all the world people are expecting, and even me too, right? So that it is good for Indian stock market as well as Indian economy, because whatever happens here, because it's a globalized world, and the globalized world, and Chinese does 20% of the global GDP, and they are exporting a lot to the, not only to India, across the world. So that will have a huge impact. So let's consider that point. And finally, what will have this on Indian stock market? What is the Indian connection? If you look at for long, for the last 20 years, 20 plus years, there has been a huge infrastructure built. And just as I said, this company itself is having 1300 projects. And look at all across the China, you can see a bigger flyovers, bigger projects being constructed all along. And in this scenario, and if there is a demand falls, if the infrastructure stops, automatically it will have the global commodity falls down, and iron ore prices and all these companies which are dependent on all these things. So Indian steel companies already, they had seen the brunt, almost 10% drop. All the bigger companies like Tata Steel, JSW Steel, iron ore companies, all these companies had seen a huge fall in the last couple of days because of this issue. And what if the demand is falling, and all these are serious issue on other sectors, and this will cause the companies which is having huge interest in China, like Tata Motors, where they have JLR, the Jaguar Land Rover, has huge sales number coming from China. If that number goes down, automatically that will have an effect on Tata Motors stock, because in the last 1 year, from the bottom of 50 rupees, they were able to come up to 350 plus, because of purely the sales which is happening across the market, and also the local passenger vehicle sales has been going up. So if there is a huge issue in one of the country, which is the biggest retail sales happening for JLR, that will have a huge impact in the balance sheet, and that will have an impact on the stock price as well. So the point is, all the infrastructure related, iron ore related, steel related in particular, and also the companies like Tata Steel, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, and as well as companies which are borrowing the products from related to the capital intensive segment, they will have a impact in the short term. Let's see how far it goes. As of now, there is no bigger issue, because that has been said by the Chinese government. Let's go forward in the next 3 to 6 months. There is a invest with caution, that is what we can say. So in the next video, we'll see what is happening in Indian market. And I think India is going to touch, India has touched 60,000 points. In Sensex has touched 60,000, it has become senior citizen. Let's see what will happen to Indian stock market, what has happened, and what will happen going forward in Indian stock market in tomorrow's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this video with your friends who are talking a lot about Chinese market, Evergrande, and all these issues. If you had liked this video, please share it with your friend as well. Thank you.